We were all learning about the primitive shapes. So the cube right there and the sphere, right? Sphere right there, the cylinder, and of course everybody's favorite, the cone. I do like some cones myself. And we were talking about drawing inside of the form. I hope you guys did some of that to discover the other sides of the form. We talked about that. And today I wanted to talk about more things that sort of like pertain to form and ways to describe it, and has some of these some drawing syntax in there. So I wanted to start by talking about contour and cross contour, right? Contour slash cross contour. Hello, Flop. Thanks for joining. All right, so contour and cross contour. If you draw a person, right, you would have what we call the silhouette of the person, right? And you can do it from multiple angles without showing any of the inside of the person. And that silhouette, this line, right, going across here, all of this is what we call the contour line. It's basically the stroke. Now everything that crosses the contour, like so, can further define the form on the inside, is called the cross contour. Right? So little things like, for example here, a belly button that you add here is essentially a cross contour line. That is very good to know, because now you've learned more ways to define a form. I could add, say, a little line here for the clavicle. That would also be a cross contour line. So that is very good to know, that these cross contours, look, they don't just have to be sort of like random placed lines. But you can find a cross contour in all sorts of things, like the belly button here, like the hairline, look, is also a cross contour. So as you understand cross contour, you understand how to express and describe form better than you could. Now, if we want to go ahead and look at our primitive shapes up here, this would be contour. Okay, this is a good one. This here would be contour. And inside, you're getting cross contour. Now, a good thing to do if you're working with primitives is to go ahead and feel free to ask me questions if you need, is go ahead and start practicing adding cross contours to your primitives, like so. And you can keep adding them even inside of your primitive like this. How would a cross contour work on the cone here? Like so. And if we extend it into the inside, we would get this. So by using contour and cross contour, we have a complete understanding of form. Does that make sense? On the subject of contour and cross contour? Because we're going to go ahead and look at convergence next. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them now before I get into convergence. Let's combine. Going ahead, doing some combinations. Thank you, Flop. Right. So now, I gave you guys some homework, and the homework was to draw the primitive shapes in various manners and build them in various ways. And some of the things I got that I saw that people did sometimes looked like this. Right? You would see a cube, but suddenly you would have something like that. Let's say, I don't know, my brain just can't go wrong. My brain is like not going wrong. It's like, I'm so used to like drawing good cubes. But you would get something like this sometimes. These cubes. Now, these cubes look wrong, but I feel like beginners sometimes draw these cubes like that and they don't know why they look wrong. And then I go ahead and I say, you know what, guys? Your cube looks wrong because this line here should go there, or this line here should go there. And they say, well, how did you know that? And my answer is that I just knew it intuitively, and you should too. But before you get to being very intuitive with it, it might help. Well, you do need to know the notion of convergence, right? Convergence, is that correct, the spelling? Yeah. Okay, so what is convergence? Anything that you draw, if you draw a cube like this, the lines going toward the horizon are converging toward a vanishing point on the horizon. Now, this is a concept that has to do with perspective, but we're not going to go into the full scope of perspective just yet. We're just going to talk about the horizon, right? and things that converge into the horizon. All right. So the horizon is basically a line that represents your eye level. Right? What we call the horizon is the same as what we call the eye level. It means that if the horizon is right here, you are looking directly at that level. Anything under the horizon, you will see the top of, and anything above the horizon, you will see the bottom of. Does that make sense? So from now on, anything that you draw, you can think about this horizon line and ask yourself, is it on top of the horizon or under? Now, why am I talking about the horizon? Because these mistakes right here